Well, hello, and welcome to Stop, Let's Team Up. And it's Saturday. Well, no, wait a minute. It's Sunday. It's a 3-day weekend. I'm lost. Before I go to a ball game, I wanted to record this week's episode. It's a solo one on a Saturday. Hopefully have some guests working on things. I haven't really been focused so much on my Legion adventures and those daring defenders. I've really and just talking Legion, just having Legion on my head. I've been bad about scheduling, so I'm going to get some stuff set up, something Defender related, and something Avenger related, and I want to do a Justice League thing. I haven't really done a Justice League episode. So suggestions, folks, please reach out. Stop, let's team up at gmail.com. That's one word, stop, let's team up at gmail.com. Send me your ideas. Send me an arc. Send me your thoughts on something to spur me to listen to read something. I'm becoming hyper-focused on stuff I already love. Give me something new. I am, when I finish reading The Liberty Project by Kurt Busiek. I will be doing an episode on that. I'd like to get someone to come on and chat who's read it. So if you've read it, let me know. I'm finding it very interesting. But I'm going to save my thoughts for that episode. But this episode is about Treasury Editions. And specifically, I still have Treasury Editions from DC. There are two of them. I have C49, which is Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. It is a reprint. A lot of Treasuries were reprints, but some are new. So the second one I have is CC55, Superboy and the Legion, and it is by Paul Levitz and Mike Grell. Woo-hoo and woo-hoo squared. I am a child of the Grell era, and Paul Levitz is my Legion writer. Okay? It's him, and then it's a mix. I think Keith did a great job. The Beer Bombs did a great job. Mark Waid. I'm enjoying reading more and more of his Legion. So there'll be more thoughts on that. Jimbo, I know hopefully you're listening to it this quickly, but we need to get back and talk more about that, and I'd like to get you on and maybe someone else on, and we can chat about the reboot, because now that I have the first two volumes, I want to jump around. There's going to be a lot of Legion content because I'm just in that mode. In 6 months, if I'm still doing this, hopefully I am, I will have fixated on some other super team. I have a bid in on for a very good, reasonable price for a New Warriors Omnibus Volume 1. That will be the cornerstone of me delving into a Fabian Niciez series that I've not read. I've not read his X-Men because I'm not an X-Men reader. Give me an era of X-Men post Claremont Paul Smith or Claremont Dave Cockrum second run, because that's about where I stopped. Give me something to read. Give me an arc, a trade back, something. Just recommend. Do not let it be Apocalypse one, because I have that. I love it, and I own. That's the only X-Men I really own in trade. But back to today's topic, which is Treasury Edition. Treasury Editions are these 17 by 11 giant things. Both companies did them. Marvel did to Wizard of Oz and FF and Avengers and all of smattering of stuff. DC did a bunch of reprints, but they also did Superman versus Muhammad Ali by Neil Adams, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's available in a hardback if you can find it. I recommend it. I think it is my favorite Neil Adams work, and I think it's as silly as it sounded even to me as a kid, thinking it would just be weird fan service in this Treasury. It's an amazingly good story. I have a great deal of respect for Muhammad Ali as a man. And I think they really kind of portray him in a good way, and he's not cartoony. And but I hold him in great esteem because of his status during the Vietnam War. Because that showed that he was a man of conscience, that he would take a stand even though it would hurt his career. It wasn't the money; it was he firmly believed that he had a religious objection to killing based on his faith. And that is, we have had that conscience objector status, and instead of granting that or doing something else, the government tried him and put him in jail for 3 years. But he came back, and he was always an example. He was a showman, but he was a good soul. And I really love that comic. I really do. But just because, one, it's I think the best Neil Adams art I've ever seen. It's my favorite story there, but it is such a good comic. It's worth reading. Other ones we had in my household, we had the Superman, Spider-Man, the Hulk, Wonder Woman, the Batman. The crossovers there are weird. Was it Wonder Woman Shazam? Yeah, it was. I think it was Wonder Woman. I don't know what it was, but the crossover ones. I'd like to get some of these. I don't know if there's a value to them. I have these two, and let's start with C49. That is Limited Collector's Edition, Volume 1, C49. That's the actual title of the comic. And then it's featuring, presents Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. It was cover dated October 1976. I was 12, and I remember this is the copy my brother bought. Then it has been in my hot little hands. It's falling apart. The double page spread is, falling apart. It features a story reprinted from Adventure Comics 369, which we have not got to in My Legion Adventure. That is a long way down the road. The Mordred the Merciless, which is a great story it's written by Jim Shooter. Pencilers are Jim Shooter and Kurt Swan. I didn't know that. Inkers Kurt Swan, Jack Abel. Letterer Gasper Saladino. Editor Mort Weisinger. And it's a fun little story. Shadowlass has just joined the lineup. Let's see who's in this sucker. The Legionnaire roll call is Cosmic Boy, Dual Damsel, Mon-El, Saturn Girl, Shadowlass, Sunboy, Superboy. Supporting characters: Jonathan Kent, Martha Kent, Lana Lang, Chief Parker. Mordred's a villain, greatest villain, and Jeff Johns turned him into a JSA villain too, which made perfect sense to me as a fan of both books and made my nerd heart sing. But it's some great stuff in this, and I'm going to take mine out of the bag. It's the center spread is falling apart. There are a lot of water stains. I'm going to post pictures of my actual loved comic because it's falling apart. It's got a nice cover by Grell. This Legion story is amazing. It is one I remember fondly. I love it. I love pretty much any Mordred, but in a giant size blow up the art, it's the Swan Abel art is just beautiful. I would like to know which pages, and I didn't do any homework. But when we get to this issue, I will. Which part did Levitt draw? Because there's some just great stuff. They're hiding in Smallville, and Mordred's looking for him, and Shadowlass is hanging out. They all take on identities and hide in Smallville, and it's just great. It's just so good. It's just stunning, folks. If you haven't seen it, go find it online somewhere. Find a copy of that adventure. It's a reprint of, and read. They're gangsters with Tommy guns. It's the 1960s. Oh, wait a minute. But this would be in the past for him because Superman, when this was written, Superman was in the 60s. So he would have been, and this would be post-war. But there's a gangster riding atop on his sedan in his dad chair, in his Archie Bunker chair. I have one of these. My dog sleeps in it more than I do. Riding on top of the car, and they're harassing everybody. And the Legionnaires have to stop them without using their powers because Mordred will figure it out. And then Lana sees them after they've saved the day in their costume, and she realizes them, and that allows Mordred to know he's here. And the final page of that chapter is Dual Damsel, Superboy, Mon-El, and Shadowlass being towered over by Mordred. And then there's Legion home base. There's a little map of this is the 2nd Legion headquarters with a little cutaway. It's stunning. And that's where the double page spread is. And the double page spread is a reprint of Superboy 200 double page spread of Dual Damsel and Bouncing Boy's wedding. And it is absolutely freaking stunning. Stunning. It is. I love this piece of art. I like it when they give you a key to it. Is it in the back of this book? I think they give you a little key to who's in the image. Oh yeah, they do. They got a little so you can find out who's who. Then there's a 2-page Cockrum spread about more of the Legion of Superheroes complex. It's great. It's got little vignettes from different things. There's some Shooter. There's some Kurt Swan art, some Grell art, some Cockrum art. Let me see if there's anybody else in here. All right, and then part 2 is, oh, yes, Lana Lang as Insect Queen is joined by them, and Jim Shooter, Jack Abel, got Kurt Swan, Jack Abel, more of it. The heroes have their own memories erased, so they can't give themselves up to Mordru. But he figures it out. He has an army, a space army. The magic wizard, he lifts Smallville up and carries him away, and he sends in his alien soldier goons. It's very evocative of the Second World War in Nazi Germany. It is absolutely chilling. Now that I'm looking at it, and I may go back and reread this because I do absolutely adore this comic, the original. But they send the day, and Mordru puts them on trial. He's the judge. Dorzak, the murderer. Koldath, the traitor. Turan, the saboteur, and Gogoro, the assassin, are all there to try them. Pete Ross is their attorney. Raythor is the prosecutor. This is very cool. I forgot all about this stuff. Stuff is silver. It's gold. But it's just beautiful. It is. I'm sorry. It's just Kurt Swan is my Superman, Superboy artist. Oh yeah, and White Witch is this White Witch's first appearance? It may be. No, she first appeared in Adventure 351. She's not a Legionnaire. She will become a Legionnaire in the Levitt's Giffen era, and a beloved one by me. That's pretty much it for Treasury C49. Let's see what was the next one. I'm going to look at this and just gab about this before we move on to the second one we're talking about today. 49 was preceded by limited edition 48, which was Superman versus the Flash. Ooh, yes. It's another reprint. It's a Jim Shooter, Kurt Swan, if you're going to keep doing that. And there's also, is it two? Oh, yeah, there are two races. There's that one. And another one by Nelson Bridwell, and Ross Andrew. They come from Superman 190. The Superman races Flash is from Superhero 199. And where's the other one from? Secrets of the Flash 175 is the second one. It's a lot of fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. Let's go back. Let's see what number 50 was, which followed it. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We had this one. I liked it. I was a kid, man. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in a DC comic book, man. He is an Earth 1 hero, I guess. So the second one we're going to look at is number 55. I'm going to pause here. All right, I'm back. I had to get all situated and look some stuff up. So, number 55, C55, which is Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. It's an all-new story, 23 Legionnaires in an all-new epic like the adventure, the wedding of Saturn Girl and Lightning Lad, a fabulous pinup, plus the origins and powers of the secrets of the Legion members. And I've got the original copy we had. It is just as beat up and loved and well-read, but I'm going to pull it out of the bag and talk about it because I have not compared it, but I assume it's 100% the same because I bought something that came out this year, which is a hardcover. I don't know what they're calling it because they can't use the word Treasury, and they never did. That was a Marvel thing, but we all called them a Treasury edition. But it's an oversized version. It is slightly bigger, and I think that might be because of the board. I think the white borders around. No, it's just a little bit bigger. It may be a quarter inch at the top across the width, and maybe a 1/16 on the edge. It's just slightly bigger, and it's probably that because it's a nice square bound hardcover. It's gorgeous, and it's got a lot of the. I think it's got all. It's pretty much the entire comic, and the backups, which are good. But basically, hold on. Let's give you the basic thing. So it was published March 1978. So post Super Bowl, post Star Wars. So, and I would have been 13. I wasn't quite 14 yet, so I was a kid and I loved it. And this is why I think I always resonated with Levitt's Legion, because he wrote a lot in this era, which is where I was going to the comic shop and I was reading these, and I was going back, and my brother Huey was going back, and we're getting the adventure and the action, and that's when I started to really delve into their history and just geeked out, man. I'd already done it with the Avengers. I'd already done it with the Defenders. I'd already done it with the X-Men and in the Justice League. But then I got into this, man, and it was like mind focus. I'm all my nerd energy right into it. And this stuff is great. It features a new story called The Millennium Massacre. Writer Paul Levitz, penciler Mike Grell, inker Vinnie Coletta, colorist Jerry Serp, letterer Jasper Saladino, editors Joe Orlando and Paul Levitz. Here's the little blurb. The Millennium Massacre. Saturn Girl and Lightning Lad marry, and when they set off on their honeymoon, they are kidnapped by Lunarite raiders. When the Legionnaires try to rescue them, all things go wrong. Here's a little mini synopsis from the DC. Superman, Superboy. Wait a minute. This is okay. Saturn Girl and Lightning Lad marry, and when they set off on their honeymoon, they are kidnapped by Lunarite raiders. When the Legionnaires try to rescue them, Superboy, suspecting something more sinister is happening if someone is twisting time. So it's got everybody. 4 of these heroes are only in Cameo. But let me give you the lineup because this is how jam-packed it is. Superboy, Bouncing Boy, Cameo, because he's a reservist. Brainiac 5, Chameleon Boy, Colossal Boy, Cosmic Boy, Dawnstar, Dream Girl, Dual Damsel, Cameo. She's retired because they Chuck and her Lorno are already married. Element Lad, Cameo. That's just because they hate me. Okay, they knew then that this would become my favorite Legionnaire, and he gets snubbed. Whatever. Karate Kid, Lightning Lad, Light Lass, Mon-El, Phantom Girl, Princess Projected, Saturn Girl, Shadow Lass, Shrinking Violet, Tyrock, Cameo. They created the first hero of Legionnaire of color, and then they never used him. He has been used since. In the 52 Legionnaire kind of reboot. I read some of it. I need to go back and read it again. But I don't think he's ever been truly used well, and I think that's a shame. And also appearing Starboy, Sunboy, Timberwolf, Ultra Boy, Wildfire. Ron Vidar is in it. The Time Chapter, The Controllers, The Sun Eaters. Flashback of Pharaoh Lad. Cameos of even Mike Grell and Paul Levitz. It's a lot of fun. Basically, history has been changed by the Time Trapper. It's manipulated, and they fight. It's a police state. I don't want to say fascist state, but it was a police state, and the Legionnaires were part of it. And Superboy, and they all travel back in time to battle the Time Trapper, who they find out is a controller, which that will be retconned again, badly. Ish. I don't know. I really need to reread it. But I'm not going to spoil it. It's a weird choice. But this is a great comic. And the backup feature, which is Facts of the Legion, it's written by Levitz, and the art is by Jim Sherman. And it's absolutely freaking amazing. It's a lot of people consider Jim Sherman their guy, their Legion writer. He didn't draw a whole lot. Not writer, artist. But what he did was stunning, and this is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. It's all the Legionnaires up to that time. It's got an Element Lad costume I wish they had really used. It's almost Kirby-esque. It's stunning. I will post an image of that. Tyrock, born on Mars-El, island on Earth. The origin of his power is to use bizarre yells to cause unique effects. Is unknown. One of the most mysterious Legionnaires. He currently is on leave trying to integrate the Mars-El into Earth society smoothly. Yes, it was a Brigadoon thing. Dawnstar's any of the statues of the 3 fallen Legionnaires at this point. Pharaoh Lad, Invisible Kid, and Chemical King. The Legion of Substitute Heroes, the honorary members, Pete Ross, Jimmy Olsen, Lana Lang as Insect Queen, Ron Vidar, and Kid Psycho. A picture of the second headquarters, also things about their earplugs. The telepathic plugs allow them to talk. Flight rings, their spaceship, which is very much an homage to Star Trek, the Legion Cruiser. I kind of like that. Lana Lang showing that they have an invisible costume that comes in when they're in space. And then in the back, the bios, which is in the back of the other trade, is Joe Orlando. Has little bios for all the artists. And it's got a great wraparound Mike Grell cover. It's well worth it. It's that late 70s Legion is a lot of fun. You see Levitz is building on the stuff he's going to use later. He kept meticulous notes. He knew where everything was. He was like any other good fan, crazy, anal about details. But the Treasury edition I got, which was not too pricey. I get a regular customer discount at my comic shop, Velocity Comics in Richmond. People do business with them; they're great. But it's stunning. It's a beautiful hardback. It now allows me to read this without damaging my Treasury, but also this Treasury has been reprinted in the archives or one of the other posts after the last issue of the archives. So, but they're fun. Treasury comics were amazing, and that's why I kind of I was looking to something to talk about this weekend, and Treasuries was it. They were all over the place. There was some great stuff. Whether it be a reprint or a new story, like the second one of these, it was well worth it. I just remember laying on the living room floor. I mean, honest to God, cliche as this is, with this open, just going over it and learning and reading. And I was one of those kids that we had a World Book Encyclopedia. And you had to, and I would just grab it when I was bored on a rainy day and take a volume and go through it item by item and learn stuff. And I did that with comics, learning the mythos, how things work. I love a cutaway. A couple months ago, I guess it's been now, almost 2 months, I posted a lot of superhero headquarters cutaways. I always loved those as a kid. And I love learning the history. And we didn't have the internet. We didn't have books on it. So you had to kind of piece it together. And during the second Levitz era and sometimes of that, I read the letter pages because they would discuss history. Like at one point they showed the who won all the fan-voted elections. And that just made me love Element Lad more because he kept losing. Kept coming in second, so I went, he's my guy. And then finally he won. It was just, this is some great stuff. And there are a lot. They're like the Rudolphs, the Wizard of Oz's were great. Superman, Wonder Woman is great. The Spider-Man, Batman. Superman, Spider-Man, and Batman Hulk were great. And then, which led to other crossovers. So there's some neat stuff. If you don't have any, just give it a Google. They're not on the DC app, it looks, but I could be wrong. Correct me if I am. But check them out if you can see them cheap. Some of them are expensive. Mine are terrible copies. They're absolutely horrible because they were just read to death, which is what they should. This is what they're for. But you can find them on eBay. They're kind of $25, $35, $40, which is, I think, a fair price for something that is is 45 years old. And unless it's been in the hands of a collector the whole time who kept it in a bag, I'm a reader, man. These things are to be read. Read them, absorb, digest the fun and the joy that is a superhero comic. Any comic book. But check them out. If you have one that's your favorite and you feel like it, I'll ask it on when I post this up today. I'd like to know which one you are. If you pick out one that I've not read in a while, I may track it down and read it and then talk about it. So that's it for now. We'll be back on Tuesday, even though it's a 3-day weekend here, Memorial Day. It's tomorrow. I will record my Legion adventure, which will be Adventure Comics 302. And then Thursday we will be doing Hulk, an issue of the Hulk that leads into which goes in those Daring Defenders. And then I don't know what we're doing a week from Saturday. I may not have anything for Saturday because I am going down to Winston-Salem to see my mother-in-law and a birthday party for my wife's, one of her best friend's kids. I'm going to bring him some comics. So it's going to be a fun little trip. Just us and the dogs in the car. Which is unique because we have the best traveling dog and the worst traveling dog. So I may be sitting in the back seat with the poor neurotic hound dog that is Hugs, the mascot of the show. But folks, enjoy your Memorial Day weekend if you're in the States. If you're in England and listen, enjoy the Jubilee celebration, I guess. Well, you get a 4-day weekend coming up from what I understand. Have some good times. Read some comics. Be kind. Be smart. Show people an act of kindness every day. This world's a little bitter and angry right now, and I think the only thing we can do is each day be nice to somebody and show them that their fellow man aren't out to get them, aren't there to argue with their viewpoints, but is there to just support every other person in your community. We have to do more of that, right or left. Y'all have probably figured out I'm pretty much a lefty. But there's no reason why people can't just take a breath, stop talking politics, be kind to one another, and maybe come to some common ground in this scary, scary world. I know I harp on this, folks, but it's on my mind, and I'm just going to say it as I leave you. Be smart, be kind, read some comics.